we've acknowledged that both of us are bad people. That's why we do this podcast. Like, we're in this together, man.
Welcome to Then You Ruined It, a podcast where two dorks try not to make a simple conversation weird and fail every time.
My wife went on vacation last weekend, and she went on a girls' trip. They went to a hot springs. I think the actual name of the city or the town or the little area is Warm Springs, Virginia. And she went in there with her three friends, and they got to hang out and be in the hot springs and enjoy it for a time. And I've never been, so I've been to like a sauna or something, but I know that's not natural. So I mean, it is, but it's not. So
You're right. Saunas don't grow on trees.
no, definitely not. So I've never experienced that, so it sounded like it was fun. And they did some other stuff on the trip, but that was the main thrust of the reason for going. So they came back and had a debrief, and we have other things going on. The kids have to go somewhere, so we had to, jump right into that and didn't get time to really decompress and talk about the trip until later that night. And we're talking about things, and my wife all of a sudden just says, Ooh, I have something I want to show you. I was like, okay, another picture or something. And she shows me, what do you think about these? And I was like, okay, it's pants. And it's like they're not capris, but they're skinnier pants, which I have skinny legs, so that's fine. I wear jeans like that anyways, when I wear jeans, which is not often. So she points these out in this picture. I think it was on Amazon or something. And she's like, what do you think of these? They're fine, I guess. Why? Did you hear about them from one of the girls or whatever? She's like, so I did see a guy's butt in them, like while we were, out and about, and thought, okay, those look pretty nice. And I was like, you thought my husband's butt could look nice in those too? And she's like, I mean, yeah. And I was like, okay. So to get this picture, she not only had to, so this is at Starbucks. This comes out later on, but she told me this is at Starbucks, and she saw the guy, and I guess liked the butt and also liked the cut. One possibly more so than the other, which, kind of troubling. But to get this, she couldn't just, look up the pants. She had to take a picture of it and Google Lens it. So she took a picture of this guy's butt. And I'm like, this part she tells me like today while we're having lunch. We're out looking at couches, and we stopped to get lunch somewhere, and she's telling me this. And I'm just like, so you took a picture of the guy's butt at Starbucks?
More like star butts.
Ah, nice one.
Yeah.
Steve contributes.
I'm part of the show again.
You'll be coming back in, don't worry. So I'm kind of like awesome, like respect. Sure, you took a picture of a guy's butt. I have never, I don't have the balls to go. I figure I would get in big trouble if I saw like a nice, cute or even sexy top on like a woman and be like, I think my wife would look good in that. Because I have said that many times. I've said it to myself. Like, man, I really like the cut of that. Not like the cleavage, whoa, goes all the way down to here. But it's like, I like the way that looks, and I think it would look good on my wife. But I can't like snap a picture because, that's not cool. So I don't. And I told her that, and she's like, I know, but, I was discreet about it. You didn't see me do it. And I'm just like, yeah, but you still took a picture of a guy's butt and had it on your phone for a time before you, I assume, deleted it. She's like, oh yeah, it's gone. I was like, well, yeah, but the cloud's a thing. Like, it exists somewhere. Somebody knows that you took a picture of a guy's butt. I do now, but somebody knew that before me. So I like the thought that she thinks that butt looks good, and I want my husband's butt to look as good in those pants as his does. And it would, I guess, in her mind. That's fine. I don't care if it does actually, but if it looks like good to her, that's all that matters. So I like that thought, but every time I wear them, what I would be thinking, does my butt compare? I can't remember what she said. She knew his name because, they're at Starbucks and they say, somebody's name when your order's ready. So she did say his name at lunch. And I was just like, you know his name? And you took a picture of his butt? And she's like, it's Starbucks. I had to. It's like, oh, these are all things that I feel like I should be mad about, but I'm just not mad about any of it. Is that okay?
You have now full permission to snap a picture of some lady's butt and say like, hey, I think you should wear Jennifer's pants.
I'd be more worried about the person I took the picture of than my wife. Like,
You can just find a picture on the internet and say you took it if you're really that concerned. Like, come on. You have a free pass to take a picture of whatever you want of some lady if she's not looking. Apparently at Starbucks, you can just take pictures of people's butts and no one notices. Although I do feel like women are more aware of that sort of thing. Like, I for all I know, every time I bend over, you can see all the way down to my ding dong. I don't know. I don't pay attention.
ladies, please tell me.
But you know the women who, like, a lot of women will just, whenever they bend down, they kind of put their hand here to keep their shirt up because they know that's when the pervos come out. So even if there's no one around, they still do it because, you never know where a pervo is. They could be watching.
Yeah, I tend to, because I'm getting old and I just have a hard time seeing, I hold my phone in such a way that looks like I'm always taking a picture, but I'm really just like trying to view it and like getting the right angle. Like, oh, whoa, that doesn't, okay, now I can view it. I feel so super old every time I do it, but I can guarantee you if there's like a woman in line at like the store or something, I'm doing that, she's just thinking, taking a picture of me, that creep. Like, no, I'm old and I'm getting old and I can't see my phone. To help you if I got like the glasses down on my nose and I did that with that and make it look less like I'm a perv, or do I look more pervy? Like, can you tell me, please?
Please help me perv correctly. I want to be the right amount of perv.
Yeah, I need to control my perviness. So, long story short, I have asked her for the link. I do want to buy the pants because I do want her to think my butt looks good in them. But I also think I'll have to always compare to Brad.
While she did set you up to take a picture of whatever you want, she also set you up to butt fail. Because now she knows what those pants can do, and she's going to find out it's not the pants. It's the man inside. And she's like, well, maybe there is more of a man out there for me somewhere. Perhaps I will go and seek him out.
Goodness, you've really had that take a turn. I thought it was just going to be, maybe don't wear those pants anymore. No, she's just going to leave me and say, I'm on the search.
I'll find you someday, Brad. I'll find you someday.
This one trip taught me that I can do better. It reminds me of when I would, early on in like dating, I guess. It was dating because I had a girlfriend. But I would like go out and do something else with friends and like encounter a girl in any situation. It's not my girlfriend, but encounter a girl and like have like an enjoyable time and think like, oh, that person would be, good to date. We got a lot in common. And just think like, oh no, but I'm with somebody. Does that mean that person's not for me? Oh no. What? I just have like this existential crisis of like, I have to break up with this person immediately because this person seems to be attractive to me as well. It's just like,
I must not love her.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, every time for like 2 or 3 girlfriends, it was just like, it was an ugly situation. And 2 relationships even ended like messily because of that. Because
I thought you were joking about breaking up with people. You really did?
Oh yeah, I had like no concept of like decency towards another person, to being like, I mean, I really like you, but I also really like this person, and I want to see like where that goes. So I'm not gonna say we're done, but we're basically probably done.
Like, we are on a break while I try to date Brittany. If Brittany is a better kisser than you, you're out.
But unfortunately, I never broke up with somebody that was like, get over yourself, a-hole, and like punch me or something, because that would have like, been a wake-up call. It was always like such a shock, I guess, because I was a pretty nice guy and pretty quiet. That was like, wait, you're breaking up with me? What? I'm not gonna say like I'm the end all be all, but I wonder if I like broke any women by like doing that, being like, oh no, this loser's breaking up with me. Oh, what have I done wrong?
No, you can't break up with me. We're only pity dating.
Yeah.
You can't move up from me. Like, there's nowhere you can go.
There's maybe a lateral move, and even that is not on your level. You have to go lower.
If there's a lateral move, it's also a pity date.
Yeah. I'm not even like high status. I'm like middle, so you have to go like low to scuzz.
See, this is why my infamous rating system is perfect, because you just can know exactly if the next person's worth going to or not. It would have saved so much heartache in your life if you had an objective system for rating women.
Okay. I'm not going to agree to that or disagree to that. That's interesting.
I will take it. Because last
Yeah.
time you said I was a bad person for making it.
We've acknowledged that both of us are bad people. That's why we do this podcast. Like we're in this together, man. I can't say you horrible, despicable. It's like, okay, well, yeah, that is bad, but here, I've got something worse. And let me tell you. So that's kind of what this is a one-upsmanship of, oh, you think that's bad? Listen to what I did. So yeah, I definitely was bad in dating life for a while, and I don't think I ever tried to upgrade to like punching above my weight, being like, yeah. I mean, there was a very extremely like hot, like conventionally like hot girl at my college that I did date like very briefly before. I think I also helped some girls realize that, oh no, I think my ex was like the one for me, so I'm gonna go back with them. Thanks. Like, sure, glad I could help. But this girl was that, and I mean, she was like smoking hot. That was definitely one where I'm like, I can't like go out with this girl. Look at this. Like, look at us together. Like, no, nobody would believe this. Not even in the worst of 90s romantic comedies. No.
People are going to start asking me for money.
Basically, that's what it looked like. So, yeah, that, like I said, that one ended pretty quickly when she realized, oh, I'll go back with this guy. And I remember going to the wedding because they got married like a year and a half later. It's like,
you're welcome.
Mazel tov. Glad I could help. That's what I do. Anybody else need to have their previous relationships confirmed?
There are probably
I'm good for that, apparently.
There are probably 7 or 8 Jasons in the next generation that were named after you because you brought them back together again. They named their firstborn after you.
I don't think I'm that lucky. I think it was more just like, yeah, that's actually why we got back together, because I dated him and was like, oh wow, oh, this is going so badly. I should give you another try, and so we did, and hey, we're happy here. I should note that they divorced like 3 or 4 years later, and now she's dating another person. I don't know, but
and now she's Kate Upton.
That would be the subject of this podcast and would have been from the start. Hey, you want me to tell you about the time I dated Kate Upton? It's like one of those podcasts that breaks down the movie minute by minute. I'm going to break down my entire half-a-week relationship with Kate Upton over the course of this 8-season podcast.
That is actually an amazing idea.
Just make up a relationship with a celebrity and then talk about it.
No, we gotta find somebody. Listeners, if you or anyone you know has ever dated a celebrity, like a super hot one, I don't care if you dated Weird Al, but if you dated Sydney Sweeney or Catherine Zeta-Jones or anyone like that, even if it only like lasted one night, just one date, we will do a minute-by-minute review of that date, because I know you remember each and every minute about that, and we will ask so many inappropriate questions.
Yeah, no, that does sound like a winner, but you also have to have like, I'm not gonna say this against us necessarily, but you'd have to have like the best, most winningest personality and like charisma to carry a podcast like that. Not saying that's not us, just saying it's definitely not us.
We have podcasted for 10 years about the pure banality that is us. If there's anyone who can drag out a show about the most minuscule of details, it's us.
Okay, yeah, we have done that for a long time. I'll admit to that, yes. But how many people have heard us do that? If you're one of those right now that is listening to me say that, and you heard us say that, you have to tell me in real life, whatever way you want to do it. Social media, however you contact me. If you know me personally, text me. You have to tell me, or Steve, one of us, that you heard it. That's how we'll know how big this audience is.
And I'm going to times whatever number it is by 1,000, because that's how optimistic I am.
In my heart, that's how big we are.
We're huge. Thousands of people listen to us.
That podcast might possibly do those numbers. It's just like,
that's the problem. You see, everything is rigged against us. There's nothing about modern podcast. How do you find podcasts these days? You go to your app and it goes to the most popular page, and it's all these celebrities and all these famous comedians and all this stuff. And there's nothing about the little guy. There's nothing about us. But if our podcast was, I accidentally brushed Jennifer Aniston's boob, like that would be a podcast that would jump to the top. That would catch people's eye. They might think Jennifer Aniston's actually on the show.
Okay, I would like to point out, no, I think it would have to be like a minute by minute breakdown of a date. Like you actually like dated this person for, again,
and
a short
on that
period
date,
of time.
You accidentally brushed up against her boob. And that's what we call
If you're just going out grazing on,
it was when she walked past you on the door or something. Like accidents happen.
That feels like you're just becoming that guy and you're just living in Hollywood and going to these places and trying to like feel up celebrities.
Also,
and that's a different podcast.
A podcast that we could help run. Like if you are that guy, I have no shame. I'll podcast with you. I've been podcasting with this guy for 20 years.
How many celebrities has he brought me? Bupkis.
He hasn't slapped a single celebrity on the butt.
To be fair, I've slapped very few people on the butt.
Yeah, and there's someone out there who's shot their shot. That's the person I want to talk to.
Well, there's lots of podcasts out there, so you'll find them. You start your podcast network and let me know how this pervy venture goes.
That'll do it for this episode. Boy, I sure did ruin that. If you still need more, head on over to Twitter. I am at Idahobo, and Jason is at the Jason Sigler. We also do a webcomics review podcast called Digital Strips.